Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and this is our Sports Ticker. Earlier today, Nebraska men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg spoke with the media about a variety of different topics. One of the topics that he spoke about was the maturity and competitiveness of this year's group.
Well, I think it's a very mature group, but I thought last year was very mature as well. And we were the oldest team in the Big Ten a year ago, and I think we're going to be up there at the top again this season. And these guys, the one thing I've really learned about them in the first just about month that we've had them is it's a very competitive group of guys, and I've been really pleased with their approach, how they've come into the gym every day ready to go. We don't have to jump them, light them up. They're ready to get after it as soon as they step on the court. They've made great gains in the weight room. That's a big part of our summer development, is in the weight room with Kurt and our medical staff. And it's been fun to see him grow.
In other Nebraska basketball news, former Husker Bryce McGuire had 20 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists off the bench last night in the Trailblazers' 97-95 NBA Summer League win over the 76ers. In Husker bowling news, 3 newcomers will compete at the 2024 Junior Gold Championships in Detroit this week. Karina Caprin, Haley Swindle, and Kayla Starr will face some of the top youth bowlers in the country as they take part in 4 qualifying rounds, an advancers round, final advancers round, and then match play. For more information, visit Huskers.com. And finally, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game takes place in Arlington tonight. Paul Skeens gets the start on the mound for the NL team, and Corbin Burns gets the start for the AL team. First pitch is scheduled for 7 tonight on Fox. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here come the Razorbacks, bumping over the left. Gillen, she's stopped. Rick Allen, block number 11 for the team 16. They're body bumping in Lincoln.
Dillon turns, hands it off to Dowdell, left side, bounces to the outside, 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Dante Dowdell.
Shelley throws down low. Markowski kicks it out to Jazz, knocked away by Marshall. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Shelley for 3. You betcha! Huskers take their first lead of the game with 30 seconds left.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Breaking ball outside corner. Make it an even 10 for McConaughey, and the Hoosiers leave 2 more here in the top of the 7th.
Now the 3-2, and Bredwell swings and hammers it deep center field. She's gone! Home run, Eva Bredwell, and a 2-0 lead for the Cornhuskers.
Tominaga with 9, 8, 7, starts down the right side, goes to the right sideline, 4 seconds, step back, 30-footer. Got it! Unbelievable! I don't believe what I just saw. Tominaga knocks it home.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome to another night of Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network. We got a great show lined up for you for the next couple of hours. We're going to continue our position breakdowns. We'll talk wide receivers with Garret and McGuire coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Can't wait for that conversation. A room that I think has really added some quality athletes and players to it since we closed the 2023 season last November. So looking forward to hearing from Coach McGuire coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Hour number 2, we're going to talk to one of the most popular Huskers of all time, Rex Burkhead. Last week it was announced he's going into the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. We'll hear from, as some people used to call him, Sexy Rexy. So we'll hear from him coming up in hour number 2. And our good friends at Sarpy County talking about their summer, their tourism, and all the things going on in that county. We'll have that for you in the second hour of the program as well. If you want to be a part of it with a text line's wide open at 402-413-2400. Jess, last night we were on the air, and we were the home run derby was going on for Major League Baseball. The game, as Camden just told you, is in about an hour tonight down in Arlington, Texas. And we were watching on X about how critical people were being about the national anthem, and I think you even pulled it up during one of the breaks, and we're like, ooh, that's not good. This is kind of a sad story. The country singer who sang it, Ingrid Andress, and I'm not familiar with her, she posted an explanation today. She apologized and said she was inebriated, and she plans to undergo treatment to address her alcohol usage. And I think, if you think back and kind of look at her, she didn't look quite right. And wow, that's quite a story, but it does explain probably why the anthem sounded the way it did. That's a sad story. Yeah, it really is sad. And by the way, we were talking last night, and it didn't sound familiar to me, but I went back, and I guess I do have a song of hers. Sometimes I hear a song and just download it, don't really even know the artist, so I actually have one of her songs in my playlist. But yeah, really, really sad. You heard it, and she didn't look right, didn't sound right, and sad that probably people were around her all day and how it got to that point. But hopefully she gets the help she needs. And but yeah, everybody was talking about it. It was all over my social media. And then she admits, not a good look. I apologize to the Major League Baseball, to America, and I'm going to try to get myself some help. So hopefully she gets the help she needs. She broke through with a single called More Hearts Than Mine in 2019. She's also had hits like Ladylike and Good Person. That may ring a bell for some of you out there. Her dad, and this is part of the reason why she got the gig last night, her dad has been a strength coach for the Detroit Tigers, the Colorado Rockies, and the New York Mets. So her dad's got a long history in Major League Baseball, and I'm sure he helped, and that made a good connection to let her do the anthem at the Home Run Derby last night. But it was hard on the ears, and she's owned up to it. That's part of, I think people that have addiction problems, that's step one, right, is to admit, hey, I got a problem and I'm going to get help. So good for her that she's going to get help, but that does kind of explain what went on last night. I don't know who's singing tonight. Oh, yep, Cody Johnson. Ooh, he'll be good. Country star Cody Johnson will be singing the anthem tonight, so that'll be in about an hour from now, and I bet he rocks it and knocks it out of the park. Well, one of the biggest stories of the summer for Husker Athletics has been trying to name John Cook's horse. We can't call it 415 forever. So over the last couple of weeks, they've been doing people submitted names. They got it down to the final four. And earlier this week, John and Lauren recorded another version of Kicking Back with the Cooks. We're going to play part of that for you tomorrow night. But within that version, they announced the winner, and Camden has been able to find what it is. So without further ado, here is the name of John's horse, no longer known as 415.
Can you give me a little drum roll or a slow clap or something?
Oh, here, this is what the players do.
Snaps?
Yeah, that's how instead of clapping, that's what they do. They do this. So,
well,
I'm doing it. What are we doing? Let's go.
We're finally announcing the winner from your horse naming competition.
I know. Okay, do you want me to tell you how many people in the last week that have asked me that question? And I'm talking, this is all walks of life. All walks of life. Everywhere I go. What are you naming 415? What's the name?
There were almost 15,000 submissions on this post, so name submission. Rev, Cash, Ship, and Rip, in that order, was most popular to least popular. That was the final four that you decided upon, and then Rev was the most popular, then Cash, then Ship, then Rip. Rev, or Revival's the name. Rev is short for Revival. That won the most with 7,099 votes. Okay. And Bill Fleming on June 14th at 7:42 a.m., he was the first person to suggest Rev, and there were a total of 19 submissions for that name. But Bill got to it first. So Bill Fleming, congratulations. Someone will be reaching out from Athletics to get you the tickets that you won, and I'm a big fan of the name, especially with Zach Bryan's new album. Have you listened to it yet?
Yes. I still like his first one better, but Revival pretty much is played every day in the Nebraska Volleyball office, that song. And that's where that name came from. Well, that's how I interpret it, Rev for Revival.
So finally we have some answers, Greg. It's a Rev, but how about over 16,000 or nearly 16,000 people submitted to be able to name horse number 413, 413. But, Revival reminds you, so you recall last season during the Big Ten title run, and it was right after they clinched the title, Coach Cook had he enlisted the help of Tyler over at Husker Vision, and he basically made his own rendition of Revival. Revival is a song that Zach Bryan sings at the end of his concerts and gives all these shout outs to all of his band. And so Coach Cook did a remake of it and shouted out all of the players on it, and they played it in the locker room after they won the Big Ten title. So Revival's a really special song to the program, to Coach Cook. He loves the song. It's his favorite song. You heard him just say so. Rev is short for Revival, but I also feel like it fits. Lauren and I talked about this. This is a premier horse. This is going to be a horse that competes, and it's got a really, really great pedigree, and Coach Cook's going to go in some rodeos with it, and so he's a pretty big deal. And so I feel like Rev fits that. It sounds like an athlete, like a really top-notch horse that's going to go compete at a high level. I don't know, it just fits. And then also you tie in the Revival, but I feel like I think it works. I like it.
Interesting that so many people submitted the same name, and they named the gentleman who submitted it first, so he's going to win the volleyball tickets, and congratulations to him. But it was interesting that multiple people came up with that name. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that fits. And what a fun thing to do for a program that's starved for attention. I mean, I know not many people talk Husker volleyball, so this was a great way to drum up some summertime attention. But what a way to have some fun with this. And Coach Cook has kind of turned into a cowboy the last couple of years. So Rev it is. Rev is the name of the horse. And you're right. I think that horse is going to get into some competitions and do some things. So that was fun. That was a lot of people certainly have been anxious to hear the final verdict.
And Greg, to me, that just goes to show how many people are invested in the things that Coach does outside of volleyball. I mean, for 19 people to have submitted Rev/Revival because they know that that's his favorite song, and then for people to vote on that and overwhelmingly vote on that, obviously they're tuned in and they know that that's an important song to Coach Cook and this program. And so the fact that I don't know if a lot of coaches have been able to put that kind of stuff out there, and then for them to latch onto that and understand it and realize how important that would be to him and how much he'd like that name too. I think that also stood out to me, just the amount of people that also knew, hey, this is an important song and an important name to Coach Cook in this program, and I think that was pretty cool too.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see a poll of the team. What would the team, if it had just been their vote, what would they have voted? They might have voted for Rev.
I think
I
so,
don't know,
yeah. I think they talked about it before. Yeah, I think they had talked. Coach Cook was in here, and I was in here when they recorded that, and we were talking about it after they recorded, and he said that they were having some conversations before they did the contest, and that was a name that was thrown out that he really liked, and so he was glad that those submissions came in and that it ended up being the winner, because that was the one that he would have picked had he not done the contest. I think he would have done something with a tie-in with that.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. So Rev it is, folks. So the horse now has a name. It's Rev. So a lot of fun. That was a cool little idea that I'm not sure who was the mastermind of it, but what a way to kind of have some fun during the summer months, get people kind of thinking, talking a little bit of volleyball, which is just around the corner for when their season gets cranked up as well. Well, Husker fans, go check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Get signed up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks, pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee is an official grocery partner of Husker Athletics, and they are your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Go visit your local Hy-Vee today. All right, when we come back, we will continue our position breakdowns. Jessica to sit down with Garret McGuire. We'll talk wide receivers next.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $3,000 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $3,000 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $3,000 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $3,000 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. I'm Jessica Coody, and we continue our football position previews. And tonight we're talking wide receivers with Garret McGuire. Garret, thanks so much for being here. I know it's been a crazy time for you guys.
Yes, ma'am. No, we've been getting after it in June, so this is gonna be fun.
How has the summer been? I mean, you guys have been recruiting, you've had camps, and still able to work with the guys too. So how's it been this summer?
It's been awesome so far. You know, June's kind of turned into like a grind of a month for most coaches, but you know, we recruited hard. We coached camps really, really hard. Camps are really, really important to us, not only just to find prospects, but also to just kind of, we want to make players better. So it's a really good opportunity for us to coach and teach our way of doing things. But then the guys, they've killed it, you know, with Coach Campbell and his staff. I'm like really, really impressed with all the new things they're doing.
You know, for the recruiting part of it, it seems like there's just so much momentum right now, and there's so much excitement surrounding this program. How do you feel about the start that you guys are off to with the classes and some of the offers you made and some of the commitments you guys have picked up?
I'm super excited. I think July and kind of the end of this month will be really, really huge for us as these official visits start to wind down. You know, a lot of guys like to commit before the season. I think it just is like a testimony to how Coach Rule expects us to recruit and the standard he's set, you know, just being in communities, being in places, being seen. You know, when we're on the road, we work really, really hard.
For you mentioned the guys working hard with practice. This is the first time you guys can have a ball, right, in the summer. How has that been different? What has that allowed you guys to do and dive into with your groups?
You know, I think for the main part is just really like the quarterback receiver timing, you know, in my room, right? We get to watch them do routes on air, you know, during our individual period. So it's really, really critical, you know, especially like yesterday we did red zone. So you're talking about ball placement in tight windows. Third down, you know, some of the things we do exotic-wise on third down. So I think that's been really, really crucial. And then the install part, you know, we have a lot of our offense in, and by the end of this week, our whole offense will be in, and then July, it's theirs.
How did you feel about where your group ended after spring ball? You got a lot of young guys, but then you got a lot of old guys. So overall, how did you feel like collectively as a group they were?
I was pretty fired up, you know, especially the step we took from practice one to the spring game, you know, in front of a large crowd. And for a lot of those guys, they haven't played in front of that size, you know, and then the kind of magnitude and everything that was going on within that day. I was excited, you know, once the ball got snapped, we played pretty physical on the perimeter, I thought, and I want that to carry over. I want that to be our standard of how we play football.
So one of the new additions to the coaching staff, the offensive side of the ball, is Glenn Thomas, who you have a closer relationship with. You played for him at Baylor. What was it like being on the field with him, coaching with him throughout spring?
Yes, ma'am. That was really cool because, you know, and even the camp circuits have been cool. I got to jump in one time and coach one of the drills, and I was like, man, 6-7 years ago, I was coaching that when I was a player. But no, it's been awesome. You know, we teach a few concepts, verbiage-wise, a little bit different than most, and so just kind of hearing him say that again, and like it clicks, and now the receiver is starting to learn that verbiage too. It's really, really fun. It's been fun, obviously, you know, being around his two sons, you know, Dylan and Hayden. They're awesome.
Okay, let's dive into your group, and let's start with some of the returning guys. And those freshmen, now sophomore, you could see how special they were. You guys were talking about them, and then, boy, they came out and jumped onto the scene in a hurry. Jalen Lloyd, let's start with him, and his speed, obviously, is so impressive. He had a great track season this past spring as well, but what are you looking for in him and the step that he needs to take going into this year?
You know, really, really, really excited of kind of what he built on, you know, within the winter, the spring, and then now leading into the summer. But now taking a real step of being a 3-down receiver, not just a package guy. You know, he's really, really dove into the playbook, and I can't say enough things about how well he's done with that. But then also, you know, he's tracking the ball at a super high level right now. You know, he's making contested catches. He's got a confidence about him right now that, you know, it's exciting to see. So I'm really, really excited for him this fall.
Malachi Coleman, I know, missed some spring due to an injury. Where's he at? And I guess what are you looking for out of him come this fall?
Yes, ma'am. Malachi unfortunately missed with his shoulder, but still got to take a ton of reps, especially mental reps. You'll see him all over the videos, right? He's all over the sideline. You know, I want him to carry over the physical presence he had, you know, late in that season on that 6-game stretch where he finished for us. And I think that can really take our room to the next step because, you know, once you get one guy doing it, then it becomes really, really contagious. And then now it's the culture of your room and the standard. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most from him.
I got a chance in the spring to chat with Alex Bullock, and he said it's kind of weird being the older guy now, but you have some transfers coming in that are new to the program, and then some of the younger guys. How important is Alex Bullock's role in your room and again, bringing everybody together?
It's crucial, especially for, you know, you know, even the older guys that are new. But Alex, you know, he knows this offense at such a high level. He could, you know, practically go run the meeting for me because of, you know, how much he's heard me repeatedly over the last few years. But, you know, and then the experience, right? You're talking about a guy that made plays in big games, made plays versus Illinois, Northern Illinois, right? So he's done it. He's got some skins on the wall in that room. And, you know, again, another guy that can play all 3 spots.
Both Alex and Jalen, and I think that was a couple other wide receivers, talked about how you challenge them and, hey, let's step it up a notch. How do you go about that and figuring out what you need out of certain guys and how you present those challenges?
Mm-hmm. You know, I think I get that most from Coach Rule and my dad. Is just you start everything from a relationship standpoint, and I don't want to coach a guy that I don't have a relationship with. So I can set a high standard, and they will want to live up to that high standard because of, you know, just our love for one another and us wanting to push each other. Not me just pushing them, but also them pushing me to where I can, you know, or we can give them the best opportunity for success on Saturdays.
Love that. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, we call him IGC around here, had the injury, unfortunately, in the season opener last year, but he was all in the sidelines, involved, helping coach guys up, those young guys, and they all talked about how important he was to their development last season. Where's he at? You like the work that he's put in up until this point, right?
Oh, my gosh. He's attacked this rehab like to no other, him and Elliott Brown, obviously, but IGC right now is 198 pounds and ran over 22 miles per hour for us on a GPS. And he looks great. He's moving really, really well. You know, we're another guy that we're going to be able to move all around the field because of, you know, just how well he knows this offense and just the dynamic player he is that can, you know, do a lot of different things as a route runner, as a ball carrier, as a return man. You know, so I'm excited about him. And then I feel his leadership, right? You're talking, again, a fifth-year guy. Like, I'm excited about him.
All right, you just mentioned Elliott Brown, so I should absolutely mention him. Is he a coach in waiting? Could he be your assistant coach someday?
I hope so. You know, I always say he's way too smart to get into coaching, but, you know, Elliott can, just the way he interacts with people, interacts with kids. You should have seen him at the kids' camp yesterday. It's so awesome, you know, just how much he cares about people. And then he loves football, too. Again, another guy that leadership, and then also he can kind of voice, you know, my opinion in other ways within that room, you know, to where not necessarily I always have to be the bad guy. He can kind of, hey, this is what Coach G's expecting, you know, this, and this.
Janiron Bonner is someone that was fullback last year. He's in your room, right? And he seemed to make a lot of plays over this spring. He's going to be a weapon I think you guys can use, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think he's kind of found a home, you know, and being a gadget guy that also, you know, can dominate in the slot because he's 218 pounds. He's a big physical presence, and he has unbelievably strong hands, and he plays with just a physical demeanor that we want to play with. And so with him, you know, Coach Sack, Coach Rule, we always talk about we're a positionless offense. So you can see him in the backfield, you can see him at 2, you can see him at 1, you can see him in a YY wing. You know, he can do a lot of stuff for us, you know, both in the pass game as well as the run game.
So you had a couple of really, really great transfers that you added to your room. And let's start with Jamal Banks out of Wake Forest. He was so impressive when I got a chance to chat with him. But what did you see and like out of him that you felt like he was going to be a good addition to this program?
The first thing was how he is as off the field. He's unbelievable with people. You know, he always wants to give back to the community. He came in, he had this elaborate plan of what he wanted to do after football, and you just kind of fell in love with him. But then, too, as a football player, you're talking about a big guy with a physical presence that has done, made plays at a really, really high level in the ACC versus really, really good corners. You know, and he's a guy that, you know, I think is going to be crucial early in the season and late in the season. You know, you're talking about early in the season with a young group of, hey, you need a guy that's going to set the tone. And then late in the season, you know, I think it's going to be cold. I think we're going to be playing in some really, really big games, you know, expect to. And he's going to be that same guy that's like, hey, you know, it's third down, hat's on my head, I'll wear it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because a couple of the quarterbacks said that they just feel like, hey, if there's something we need to make a play, throw it up, and he's going to go get it. How important is that to have a guy like that for an offense?
He really is a quarterback's best friend because of just his frame. And then also, you know, where he usually wins is at the top of the route and at the catch point. So I think that's what's so crucial with him.
Isaiah Nair, another guy that made a ton of plays all over the field all spring, and the quarterbacks really raved about. Did you have a prior relationship with him, being that he's a Texas kid?
I knew about him, obviously. I knew his head coach really, really well, Coach Skinner and Coach DeLay. They really helped us out in his recruitment. But with him, you know, you're talking about a guy that's, you know, he's an avatar out there. Sometimes you watch him, and he's so big, so fast. Again, like Jamal, has a huge catch frame. But what I love about him is just his process. You know, he could sit in here right now. He could tell you what all 5 guys are doing. He'll tell you the quarterback's read. He'll tell you when he's getting to something. You know, he knows that he really has dove in, and he's a football guy. All he wants to do is sit up there and watch tape and and then go hang out with Mitch and recover. So it's exciting.
You got to love that. A football guy that just wants to sit up there and watch tape.
That's it. That's it. That's kind of what we're trying to get.
Oh, that's awesome. How important was it to add a couple of guys like that have the experience with the young core of talent that you have, the young guys that you have in that room?
I think those two guys just setting the standard of, hey, this is how we act off the field. This is how we prepare both mentally and physically. And then also just those two guys' confidence of like, hey, I've done this at a high level. I played at Texas. I made plays. Or I played at Wake Forest. I made plays versus top 25 opponents, stuff like that.
They both seem pretty humble and want to see their teammates succeed, and they're not like, hey, I want the ball every time kind of guys. They want to do what's best for a team, which you got to love that as well.
It's awesome. I think, again, that's just Coach Rule, of what the culture he's created here of like, we want what's best for our teammates, unselfishness, and then, we want to win. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so you have some really talented freshmen coming in, and I got to tell you, we were chatting about this, but a couple of your freshmen were some of my favorites from signing day that I got to interview, and Keelan Smith and Quinn Clark, and of course legacy guys, but they were just fantastic to talk to. But the freshman group overall, how have you liked what they've done so far since they've been here, and what can they maybe add to this offense coming in immediately?
Really, really excited about them. Again, kind of went back-to-back classes of young guys that have projectable traits, both, size, speed, length, things that we can develop as a program. Probably going to start off with Ja'Cory Barney, being from Miami, really kind of stepped out of his comfort zone to come play for us. But I think, the biggest thing he brings is just the swagger and confidence and mentality that he has, like he doesn't care who lines up in front of him. He wants the ball. He wants it every chance he can get it. He loves football. You see him at the spring game. He's got something to him. Again, like the way we recruit. He's again another fast guy that we can move all over the field.
For freshmen to be able to come in, and we saw last year you had some unfortunate injuries that forced guys into the fire, but what do they need to do throughout the summer, throughout fall camp, to be able to have an opportunity for you guys to maybe call on them as true freshmen?
I think not necessarily the physical aspect is not as much as the mental aspect. They just being able to learn a whole new offense, learn a whole new verbiage, that's probably number one. But then number two, you're going from high school where these guys are playing in front of 9,000-10,000 people. Okay, now come to Memorial and make that play in front of 90 against a All-American corner. I think, that takes a different kind of confidence. And, I think those are the two biggest things.
How much do you like this group? They seem to be a lot of fun. You got a lot of good characters in there.
They're so much fun. We have a blast together. I think it's just I can't say it enough. We're football guys. We just want to go out there. We want to work. We want to make plays. And they love each other. I think that's the best part.
The older guys that came in, and really every wide receiver that I talk to, one of the first things they say about you are just how smart you are and knowledgeable about the game. You grew up in it, but how do you go about continuing to challenge yourself and learn and continue to grow in your knowledge in the game?
Just continue to sharpen my axe. Coach Rule's obviously a great resource. Coach Sack, Coach White, Coach Dvorak, Coach Coop, just learning both sides of the football. But then also, I was blessed, to where we got to learn from some really, really smart people that have been around the game. And, I'm not afraid to give them a call when I have questions. And, again, I think that goes back to that 4th and 1 mindset that Coach Rule has, every chance and opportunity to get better,
How do you feel about just overall the offense, what you had in place last year and building off of that, and then what you did this spring and taking another step going into this fall? How do you feel about this offense and again, the potential for you guys to take another step?
Oh, I feel really, really good. I think Coach Satt's done a really, really good job with those tight ends. I'm excited about that room. They have unbelievable ball skills. There's 3, 4, 5 guys in there that can kind of change the game, I think, especially in third down, red zone, big targets for some of these quarterbacks that we're going to play. I think the running back room really took a step. And then I think the O-line room, because we got so many of those guys back, and just the culture that Coach Donnie's already created there, I think we're in really, really good position.
We just ran through a bunch of guys that are super talented. How do you go about figuring out who's going to play, who's going to work into this offense?
I think
it's a good problem to have, right?
It is a good problem to have. I think July and August is going to be the tell. And then throughout the season, the college football landscape's changed a little bit to where season hopefully is a little bit longer for us this year, and you're going to end up playing more guys naturally.
Okay, so what are you looking for out of your guys for the rest of the summer to be able to be where they need to be come start of fall camp?
Attack the weight room with Coach Campbell, attack nutrition with Miss Kristen, attack rehab and regeneration with Coach Mitch, and then we got to live on the jugs, and we really need to take a step in this offense of being able to be on the ball, play fast, and kind of play free.
You talk about the ability to be able to work with these guys on the field right now, but the extra work that they're doing with the quarterbacks, how vital is that right now to be able to develop that chemistry?
It's so vital, especially, you talk about 3 quarterbacks that we all haven't really gotten a ton of reps with. Even though Heinrich was here last year, he only threw to Jalen for 6 games. He only threw to Malachi for 6 games. That's not enough. You need thousands and thousands of reps.
Have you found being that you played quarterback that's helped you to coach the wide receiver position and just know what you need out of those wide receivers?
Yes, I think, and Coach Satt teaches the tight ends the same way. He's kind of the one who taught me how to do that. And it just makes you play with such a wider lens instead of just, some guys are like run a 14-yard dig. Well, we like to teach you, hey, here's the progression. Here's when you're going to catch the ball. Here's what the top of the route should look like. Hey, here's what you can do versus press, off, so that you kind of have a picture of, hey, when I'm getting this ball, what we want it versus why is Coach calling this play.
Last thing I got for you, you enter year number 2 here at Nebraska. How do you feel different? How excited are you to go into year number 2?
I'm so excited. Again, it's the guys, it's the staff. This place is it's really, really fun. It's really special. I can see why this place is so special to so many people. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Garret, McGuire, appreciate your time, and have fun the rest of the summer, and we'll see you on the football field coming up soon for practice and fall camp. I bet you can't wait for that.
Yes, ma'am. Can't wait.
All right, we got to work in a break here on Sports Nightly. And Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee is an official grocery partner of Husker Athletics and is your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Visit your local Hy-Vee today. We're back with more on the show coming up right after this.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $3,000 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $3,000 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
At Woodhouse Chevy, we believe in the power of performance. Whether it's an adventure with the family or tackling the toughest jobs, Woodhouse Chevy has you covered. Woodhouse Chevy offers many models to choose from and amazing features like wireless Apple CarPlay, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, front pedestrian braking, and so much more. Woodhouse Chevy brings you 2 convenient locations in Omaha and Missouri Valley. Together, let's drive with Woodhouse Chevy.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $3,000 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $3,000 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenience sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Rick Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Tuesday night. Great interview with Garret. Fun to listen to. He's so polite. Love that about him.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. He makes you feel really old when he says, sir, I don't know about you, but he makes you feel old.
That's a Texas guy. I feel like that's at all
Southern.
ages. They say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. I feel like even the younger players now, it's a Texas thing. That's all I can say.
Southern gentlemen is what they are. I think the Bees are going to be key. I think Bonner and Barney have a chance to really make an impact in that room. And I mean, I love Bank, and I'll add Banks. He's a B. I think the Bees could have a big impact on that room all season long.
Yes, I agree. And, you just got different skill levels, different kinds of receivers that you can scheme around. And, just Jamal Banks is a guy that, hey, anytime you need a safety blanket, I think he can be that guy, one of those guys. I think there's some tight ends that can be that too, but I think Jamal Banks is going to be a guy that, whoever the quarterback is, but they trust. I heard them. They told me that during the spring. They told me as much that Jamal Banks has already become a guy that they just know they can throw it up to and he's going to go get it. So, I think they've got some, we talked about this last night, but I definitely think just overall room, talent in that room, I think it's an upgrade this year going into this season.
No, I think you're right. Also, did you see, you mentioned Clark to him, and he just got here a month or two ago, but he was out doing some basketball, a little thing they did in the park, the dunks that he was making. What an athlete he is.
Oh, yeah. People, I think, were already sending it to Jeremiah Charles that he's got some competition for the dunk contest next year. But, yeah, he was it was one of those cool stories from signing day that he came to camp as a legacy, and just he was one of your favorite interviews when you were listening to him back. You really liked him. He was not the Omo Raisin guy. That was Keelan Smith, but Quinn Clark was just really impressive, and what a cool story. And I know that they think really highly of him. I think he's going to be a good player. Whether it's this season or down the road, I think they're really, really excited about his potential in the future. It
happened on campus near one of the dorms. They have like a blacktop basketball court outside, and Man, there were a bunch of students watching these guys do dunks, and Quinn Clark was like getting up and after it. It was really impressive to see him do that. So he's a freak athlete. I don't know how much he'll be able to play this year because he wasn't here for spring ball, but that's a kid to keep an eye on moving down the road, I think, for this program. And there's a great get for Nebraska to add him into the batch. We've had some requests tonight to get Camden's take on NCAA 25. We're going to do that when we come back.
Ford SUV season sales event is here at Woodhouse Ford, and it's the perfect time to find a new Ford SUV for all your summer adventures. Woodhouse Ford offers many models to choose from and amazing features like the Ford Co-Pilot 360, Ford Blue Cruise, Sync 4 infotainment system with Apple CarPlay, and so much more. Go and visit Woodhouse Ford at any one of our 3 convenient locations in Omaha, Blair, and Plattsmouth.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Tuesday night. Yesterday was the day that the video game NCAA 25 dropped. My X feed was full of people with their thoughts about it. Camden, your charge was to go home last night and play it. Did you do that, and what did you think?
I did play it last night. It was late last night that I finally got to because I watched the rest of the Home Run Derby. But I did play it, and it was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. They changed kind of how you pass in the game because the other game was 10 years old, so they upgraded the passing and whatnot. But besides that, I did play a game with Nebraska. They're very fun offense to play with because of the speed that the receivers have. So you got like Malachi Coleman and Jalen Lloyd both have 90-plus speed, and so
that's good, right?
Very good on a scale of 0 to 100. So it's about as high as you can get. And so, I mean, you just have Dylan Raiola, who chucks it 60 yards down the field, and then Malachi Coleman outruns whatever corner you're facing, and then he gets a touchdown. My favorite play I ran was a little end around for Malachi Coleman, who'd just get to the outside, and then he'd run 50 yards, and I don't know, it was fun to play with, very realistic, I think.
How many receivers have that 90-plus speed? Is there any way to know that?
I mean, there's probably a way to figure it out. I'd say, it's probably 10% of receivers, I'd think.
Greg, what was funny is we were in the studio earlier. He came in, we were talking about it, and he said it was really hard to pass. I said, well, hopefully you ran the dang ball then. Pulling a little Jeremiah Searles. He needs to run the dang ball on his NCAA 25. So he said he did. He said he used... who was your running back that you used for Nebraska?
Dowdell.
Yeah, and he was good, right?
He was very good, yeah. He had a little quickness to him, and then he was able to break a lot of tackles.
Who did the Huskers play?
I played UTEP and Colorado.
How was Colorado?
I won. I won.
Nice.
You foreshadowing? We foreshadowing?
Yeah, it was like 21-17, I think.
Okay.
But, I mean, Colorado was pretty good. I mean, they had Travis Hunter and Shadur, who were both 90-something overalls, so.
Huh. Wow.
Did we smoke UTEP?
Eventually. It started off a little slow. I think it was like 17-14 at half or something, but then I think the final was like 38-17 or something.
How's the defense?
They're good. I would say they're really good at stopping the run. The D-line was plugging all the gaps and getting tackles for loss. And then Tommy Hill's our best player, rating-wise. I don't remember what he is, 89 maybe. So
yeah.
he was a good corner.
How was Nash?
Good. Like I said, plugged all the holes and got around UTEP pretty well, at least.
I noticed that a couple people were saying how just the details of it, even the commentary from Kirk Herbstreit was talking about some of the great running backs. I feel like there's a lot of things like that people, it seems to be, have taken notice of. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did. Yeah, just all those small details. Like they have two different crews of broadcasters. So like you can have Kirk Herbstreit and who's he with? Is it Reese Davis? Fowler. Fowler. He's with Fowler.
Chris Fowler?
On the ABC ones, yeah. And so, like, if it's a big game, you can choose to have, like, the national broadcast. Otherwise, like, when I was playing UTEP, it was Reese Davis and Jesse Palmer, I think. So, like, just having two different options is kind of cool, too.
Well, one of the complaints I've seen Husker fans give is that they don't think they've given Nebraska's defense enough love in their rankings. That they don't, if you ranked at Nebraska, they wouldn't have a top 25 defense, which we certainly were a year ago. So that's one complaint I've had, but at least in your two games that you played, your simulations, the defense was pretty good.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it was, like I said, I think they're both 84 overall. I think our offense is like 84 overall, and our defense is 84 overall. So people were kind of confused by that based on the offense last year. Obviously, you'd think the defense would be super far ahead, but, I mean, the ratings are obviously up for debate because Colorado is in the top 25 in offense and defense when they probably shouldn't be. So, like, you never know.
They won 4 games.
It's just amazing to me, some of those details that, you know, like the speed of Jalen Lloyd and Tommy Hill, and just how much time that took to go to be, you know, figure out all the details of every single team that you play with on that video game.
Yeah, no, yeah. Who sits in a room and decides all that? I mean, somebody sits there and grades everybody out a little bit. But Camden, thank you. That's a good little report card for everybody there. Can you play this on Twitch, or do you have to have certain equipment to play these things? I mean, yeah. I am really ignorant on a lot of this stuff.
Well, Twitch is a streaming platform, so that's like if you want to have people watch you, similar like
that'd
YouTube,
be cool.
but it's for video games. But yeah, you got to have a PS5 or I think it's an Xbox S, whatever the newest Xbox console is. You got to have one of those.
I would love to have Jeremiah and Jessica play against each other on Twitch. I think that'd be a riot.
I wouldn't even know how to turn the thing on. And if it's not a Nintendo 64, I think Searles plays. If it's not a Nintendo 64, I wouldn't have a clue what to do.
He does. He plays. I know he does.
But I'm sure you can figure it out and beat him, you know.
You walk to the football offices, and they're all over it. Camden, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Hour 2, next.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska. Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Good evening. I'm Camden Cohn, and this is our Sports Ticker. Earlier today, Nebraska men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg spoke with the media about a variety of different topics. One of the topics that he spoke about was the maturity and competitiveness of this year's group.
Well, I think it's a very mature group, but I thought last year was very mature as well. And we were the oldest team in the Big Ten a year ago, and I think we're going to be up there at the top again this season. And these guys, the one thing I've really learned about them in the first just about month that we've had them is it's a very competitive group of guys, and I've been really pleased with their approach, how they've come into the gym every day ready to go. We don't have to jump them, light them up. They're ready to get after it as soon as they step on the court. They've made great gains in the weight room. That's a big part of our summer development, is in the weight room with Kurt and our medical staff, and it's been fun to see him grow.
In other Nebraska basketball news, former Husker Bryce McGuire had 20 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists off the bench last night in the Trailblazers' 97-95 win over the 76ers in the NBA Summer League. In Husker bowling news, 3 newcomers will compete at the 2024 Junior Gold Championships in Detroit this week. Karina Capron, Haley Swindle, and Kayla Starr will face some of the top youth bowlers in the country as they take part in 4 qualifying rounds, an advancers round, a final advancers round, and then match play. For more information, visit Huskers.com. And finally, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game takes place in Arlington tonight. Paul Skeens gets the start on the mound for the NL team, and Corbin Burns gets the start for the AL team. First pitch is scheduled to take place in just a few minutes on Fox. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here come the Razorbacks, bumping over the left. Gillen, she's stopped. Rick Allen, block number 11 for the team 16. They're body bumping in Lincoln.
Dillon turns, hands it off to Dowdell, left side, bounces to the outside, 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Dante Dowdell.
Shelley throws down low. Markowski kicks it out to Jazz, knocked away by Marshall. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Shelley for 3. You betcha! Huskers take their first lead of the game with 30 seconds left.
Here's the 2-2 pitch.
Called strike 3. Breaking ball outside corner. Make it an even 10 for McConaughey, and the Hoosiers leave 2 more here in the top of the 7th.
Now the 3-2, and Bredwell swings and hammers it deep center field. She's gone! Home run, Eva Bredwell, and a 2-0 lead for the Cornhuskers.
Tominaga with 9, 8, 7, starts down the right side, goes to the right sideline, 4 seconds, step back, 30-footer. Got it! Unbelievable! I don't believe what I just saw. Tominaga knocks it home.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
2 Sports Nightly here on a Tuesday night. I hope you had a great day today. All-Star game about ready to start. This is kind of the off week for Major League Baseball. They will not resume. Most of the teams will not resume until Friday. Gives everybody a little bit of a break, kind of a slow sports week. The Open Championship, the final major of the year for golf, starts on Thursday. We will do a little round-robin draft at the request of the big dog, since this is one thing he appears to be pretty good at. So we'll do a little in-house draft tomorrow.
Can you say that? It was one time. We'll see how he does once we do it again, but I'm not ready to just say, oh, he's good at this yet. He won one time. One time.
I'm just trying to pump him up a little bit. So we'll do a little in-house draft tomorrow night with the Open. This is one of the fun ones where if you can't sleep in the middle of the night, you can get up at about 2 a.m. and watch live golf because they're of the time difference.
I also feel like it's a lot of random people on the scoreboard a lot of times too. This one will be fun to see how we pick it, because it's always a challenging course, and sometimes it's like, who are those people on the leaderboard?
I'm gonna shoot my shot here. Tiger makes the cut.
Oh, really?
Makes a cut. He's not gonna win, but I think he makes a cut.
Okay.
So SEC Media Day, Day 2, Georgia was the prime team today. The perennial power in the SEC, Kirby Smart's kind of etched his spot at the top of the heap for college football coaches now with the retirement of Nick Saban. He took a shot at Oregon, coached by Dan Lanning, one of his former assistants, about all the NIL money that Phil Knight is pumping into the Ducks program. I doubt Georgia's hurting with NIL money. It would be my guess. I think they're probably in pretty good shape. And Oklahoma went today. That's a little bizarre, right? That had to be a little odd for Sooner fans to turn on the SEC network and see Brent Venables and their guys at that thing today.
It was weird for me, I got to tell you. It's so, I don't know. Something you didn't expect, and you knew it was coming, but it was weird for sure. Hey, on that note, on the NIL stuff, I did see that they had withheld NIL money for traffic violations for Georgia players, like crazy amount. So yeah, no, they're not hurting in NIL money if they're being punished for not. They are withholding so much because of their traffic violations. But Texas also going, and I saw that they're not going to be punished. Teams are not going to be punished for the horns down in the SEC. So that's good news.
Yeah, come on. That was silly, right?
That was so
the Big 12 said, we're going to penalize you if you give a horns down. What in the world?
That was terrible. Terrible rule. So
what do you think about that on NIL for guys who maybe get parking tickets or speeding tickets, and because it comes back probably on the NIL collective to pay for some of those things? Maybe I guess I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a good way to hold guys accountable. And think about Georgia, how many traffic violations we've heard them have in the last year or so. It seems like there's more than normal. So yeah, if you are speeding or whatever, or I don't know, like I guess it can go back to being part of the if you have violations, then yeah, we're gonna dock you there on the NIL play, I guess. Yeah, I mean, guys in the NFL get fined for doing things, breaking rules, so maybe it's where we're headed.
You know, and the coaches certainly have a say in the NIL payments. I don't think they totally control it, but this could be a way of discipline for coaches moving forward, that, you know what, if you break the law, you get arrested, you do that, I'm going to punish you by taking away some of the toys that you may be getting with NIL, whether it be money, maybe it's a car payment, maybe something else. I guess that's going to be interesting how schools handle that. I hadn't thought of it in that way, but yeah, that could certainly come about that.
Okay,
Texas
and also too, here's a question. I don't know if that's even something if this will be even something that we can answer, but so if some of these athletes really across the country in multiple sports, we're seeing them have vehicles to drive, right? Well, the vehicles have to have insurance. If they are getting some kind of violations and that ups your insurance, is that part of it too?
Should be. Now, I think the way it works here in Nebraska, and we had Matt on last night from 1890, certain athletes do have car deals, but they have to have their own insurance.
Oh, okay.
So the collective, at least here at Nebraska, they don't cover their insurance. They supplied them the car, they take care of their payments, but that they have to be insured themselves. So if they get into a wreck, it's on them. It's not back on the collective. Now, maybe Georgia's set up differently than that, but that's where this thing is so loosey-goosey, Jess. Everybody's kind of operating under different rules. There's got to be somebody to oversee this. There's got to be kind of a commissioner, I think. And it should be the NCAA president, although the NCAA doesn't have much to do with football. But there's got to be somebody to oversee some of this stuff.
Yeah, I just wondered if some of the collectives were paying for insurance, and it keeps going up, if that could be something where, hey, okay, if you're going to keep getting into these incidents where your insurance is raising, then we're going to have to take it out of that NIL cut. But they're just so many little things like that certain states, depending on your laws, have different regulations, different restrictions, that there's just not an overall list, or there's just not an overall way to follow how this is done. So it's makes it challenging for sure.
To back up your point on Georgia, more than 20 players have been ticketed for traffic-related charges in the last 18 months. Of those, at least 7 have been arrested. And, of course, they had the tragic death of a staffer and a player who were apparently drag racing when a car crashed and killed staffer Chandler LaCroix. That made a lot of headline news a couple of years ago. So Georgia has had an issue with this moving forward with cars and players, and so maybe trying to find these guys is a way to try to get this back in line. But yeah, that's been pretty messy down in Georgia. I think Oklahoma plays Georgia, don't they? Let me get my big old Phil Steele here. I think that's one of the games the Sooners play this year in the league. Do you know their schedule very well?
No, I do not. I was trying to find the actual amount of money that they have been fined, or that they have withheld.
Well, I'm on CBSSports.com. They've got a story about, but I don't know if they've got the dollar figure for
it says here, Kirby Smart said Tuesday that Georgia's Classic City Collective is fining players involved in driving charges. Wow. The collective told On3 Sports players can have NIL payment deducted per their contracts. Over 6 figures have been withheld. Wow.
Woo.
Wow.
Wow, that's big. Oklahoma does not play Georgia. They do play Bama. They play LSU. They do not get Georgia. So that's not one of the games the Sooners will play in their first year in that league. It's sure going to be interesting to follow them and Texas and see how they do in those two leagues. Texas does play Georgia. They get them in Austin in mid-October. That'll certainly be a big game when those two get together. Texas has a really interesting schedule, Jess. They go to Michigan week 2. Then they play Georgia midseason. They play, and then they play A&M. A&M back on their schedule after the two split when A&M left the Big 12. So that's an interesting schedule for Texas. That looks a little bit harder to me than Oklahoma's first-year schedule looks like.
That's the deal with the SEC. It depends on, yes, the top half, and especially in certain years, the top half are absolutely loaded, but then some of the teams on the bottom half. So if you can get lucky in the schedule, then makes things a little bit easier of a road.
One quick baseball update. Today was the final day of the MLB draft. They had rounds 11 through 20. No Huskers, no current or future possible Huskers were drafted today. So now Drew Christo has certainly an interesting, he could maybe sign a free agent deal with a team. That wouldn't be worth much money. So does Drew Christo come back and bolster the Huskers pitching staff for 2025? That's going to be an interesting thing to follow. I'll try to get in touch with Will Bolt in the coming days and see if they've had conversations with Drew. So the only 2 players taken were Josh Caron in the 4th round by the Mariners and then Brett Sears by the Braves in round 7. And that was really kind of all. I think there was a little concern about a junior college kid that signed with Nebraska in November and a high school player that signed that they might get drafted, but they did not. So now Will Bolt really can set his roster and start to look through that. So the draft is over. Congrats again to Josh and Brett for being picked. Well, folks, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. No judgment, just help. Go visit lifeafterbet.com. When we come back, we're going to talk to one of the more popular Huskers of all time, Rex Burkhead, named last week as one of the new members to the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. We'll talk to Rex next.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you can use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings, very possible. Playoffs, highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Experience luxury car buying like never before with Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Browse our full range of SUVs that combine power and versatility, like the 2024 Genesis GV80, packed with an array of safety and tech features that ensures confidence and comfort on every journey. Or explore our lineup of exceptional sedans that offer unparalleled elegance and sophistication. Get started online at southwestomahagenesis.com and shop our current offers happening right now, or visit our showroom at Village Point today.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Last week, the newest class of the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame came out, and we have the headliner with us, Rex Burkhead, going into the class. Well-deserved honor. He joins us now. Rex, congratulations. This is fantastic. What's this mean to you?
Yeah, appreciate it, Greg. Very honored, humbled to be considered, in that, Hall of Fame, and, in a special class with some great players, and not only great players, great people as well. So, yeah, it's, very, very honored, like I said, very cool award. And, so many greats have come through the University of Nebraska, and to be named with one of them is humbling, like I said.
Let's go back. Let's go down memory lane a little bit. So, young man from Texas, the Dallas, the Metroplex down there. Take me back through the recruiting process and how you landed as a Cornhusker.
Yeah, I had kind of ventured out everywhere, visited multiple places. Went out to California, did Stanford, went to Alabama, Auburn, kind of all over. Did all the Texas schools, of course, and usually the high school players don't really get out from the state of Texas. Don't really get out. They usually choose one of the schools there, and so it was a unique journey. Sorry, my phone messed up there. And yeah, it's just one of those things. When I took my visit to Lincoln, just fell in love with it. The people there, of course, the players, the tradition of great running backs who have come through the university was really appealing to me, and it just felt right. I'd taken visits elsewhere, It didn't really feel the same. Of course, you have some coaches that maybe promise you a few things, like they'll come in right away, rush for 1,000, receive for 1,000, and Coach Bleen never did that, and really respected that. He said, you come in, you work hard, you'll have a chance to play early. And so, can't be happier with my decision, and enjoyed my 4 years there.
Yeah, you played for Bo. Quick Bo story for you. The head coaches on signing day always have a press conference, and then Bo did it up on the 6th floor of West Stadium, and he comes over into our booth and does a one-on-one with us for the network, and we hadn't started recording yet. He goes, man, wait till you see this Burkhead kid we got. He's going to be phenomenal. And, you take that with a grain of salt. We hadn't seen you play yet, and boy, he was right, dead on that. So you played for Bo. Ron Brown was your position coach, I believe, for your time here. What did you learn from Coach Brown? What are your memories of him?
Yeah, no, Coach Brown was awesome. Unbelievable coach, motivator. Every single day before we go out to practice, he always have a speech for us, and you feel like you're going into game day every single day. So learned a lot from him, stuff that I still continue today regarding whether that's my faith or just going about, family life or everyday, objectives. So really appreciate his example in my life, and, of course, many of my teammates as well.
You had a really nice room. I mean, Amir was here at the same time as you. You guys were kind of a dynamic duo back there. How special were those meeting rooms? And I mean, when players get done with their playing days, they talk about that's what they miss. They miss hanging around the locker room. They miss just kind of being with their pals. What was all that like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, that's definitely what you miss. You miss the guys in the locker room, game days, of course, and just those little meetings. What I miss a lot is, me and Amir and those guys, we would go in later on in the day after practice and go watch film on our own. Just, real quick, 30 minutes, review the practice film, maybe watch a little bit of the opposing team before we went back to our dorms or houses or wherever to do our homework for the night. But, you miss that time. It was a great bonding experience. I mean, we had some unbelievable people, teammates, high character guys on that team that, love football, love to compete, but also thought outside of themselves and wanted to do stuff in the community and for other people.
We're visiting with one of the new Hall of Famers, Rex Burkhead, here on Sports Alley. Over 3,300 yards as a Husker, 30 touchdowns as a Nebraska Cornhusker. One game that just sticks out to me, and you'll know it right away, and it was the Ohio State comeback in the second half. The stadium was just alive in the third and fourth quarters. What do you remember about that? Was there a big speech, a motivation speech at halftime? Because you guys were down at half. Levante made a big hit to get the ball back early in the third quarter. But what do you remember about that game and that win over the Buckeyes?
Yeah, no, I remember going in at halftime, and there really wasn't panic in, any of the guys. We just kind of look at each other, and we're like, yeah, we know what we need to do. We didn't do it at all in the first half. We just didn't execute, and we knew we could score and get things going offensively. We just had to get it done. And, being down a lot, we knew we needed some momentum shifts. And so Levante strip was huge. And finally, we got it going offensively. And we were cranking it up. We were doing no huddle, I think, pretty much that whole second half. So guys were, the legs were a little heavy, but we were still scoring. We were still making plays and moving it down the field, and ultimately came out with the victory. So, definitely one of my favorite games as a Husker, and, favorite, come from behind wins for sure.
People still talk about it to this day, Rex. They just love to memorize about it. Look, you were part of the program when we made the switch from the Big 12 to the Big 10. As a Texas guy, you may not have liked that. I mean, we were going down to your home state and playing some games, whether it be Baylor or Texas or whoever. But then you got a chance to go to the Big 10 and experience some of that league a little bit. What was that like? And did you enjoy playing some Big 10 football at the end of your career here?
Yeah. As you mentioned, I was not happy when we moved initially, just because, growing up watching the Big 12 and having family around, of course. But it was a cool challenge, and being able to play at some very historic places like the Michigans, Ohio State, Penn States was really neat. And just having that challenge of the physicality of Big Ten football and going against some new teams and new coaches was pretty cool. And there's not a lot of people that can say they played in two different conferences like that like we did and go and battle it out week by week.
Two-time academic All-American. Talk about that part of being a college student here at Nebraska. And most athletes come back, and when I talk to them after their playing days are over, they rave about Dennis LeBlanc and that whole staff. What was your experience like academically here at UNL?
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Just the support staff we had, Dennis and, Katie and Kim and everyone in that department were unbelievable. Korth Keith Zimmer. Yeah. Doing big time thing for us to get out in the community, putting those opportunities in our plate. And, it was great. Couldn't ask for better people to help us, move forward and, life after football choices there. And so definitely appreciate them and everything they did for us.
When you come back, because it is a new coaching staff now, are those kind of the people you go visit when you come back to the stadium?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're not all familiar faces, especially, of course, on the coaching staff. And so, definitely go back and see them. And, of course, it's always nice meeting some of the new faces. Matt Rule actually texted me yesterday congratulating me on the Hall of Fame. And so it's neat meeting those new guys, the new regime in there, and, hopefully building, some good traditions going forward.
Oh, that's fantastic. While you were here, we had the magical Jack Hoffman spring game, and now you've been so active and involved with Team Jack since that point in time. Do you remember the build-up to the spring game? And I've heard stories that Bo wasn't sure what he wanted to do even until about Friday night, and then it kind of clipped what he wanted to do. Take us through that. Were you involved in some of those discussions about how to honor Jack and get him on the field that day?
Yeah, the discussions with Bo, no, not necessarily. I remember getting a call from Jeff Jamrock the night before. That was pretty late. Yeah. And he asked me, what do I think about, letting Jack out there on the field and scoring a touchdown? He's like, do you think he'd be up for it? And I was like, kid in Nebraska, I think, would love to go out there on the field and score a touchdown. And he's like, okay, that's what I was thinking too. And come to find out, I don't think Jack was too excited about it, but ended up being pretty unbelievable. Of course, a very emotional moment, and not a dry, eye in the stands. And I had just graduated, but I was on the sideline filming the whole thing, and definitely my favorite moment as a Husker, and pretty awesome stuff, and just shows how good the people are there.
Well, I can assure you there wasn't a dry eye in the radio booth either when that thing was taking place. I brought up the Ohio State game. Is there another game or two that or you think back fondly on? You guys obviously had some heartbreaking losses in some championship games that I'm sure are kind of the downside of it. But what about some other good memories you had here?
Yeah. Of course, some of those conference championships were tough, definitely. But, we had some great wins, some big-time road wins. I'm trying to remember. I think at Washington my sophomore year was a very fun game, just because we executed on every single level. And it was like everybody was making plays. From Roy Halou, of course, Taylor, T Magic, and, Brandon Kitty, Niles Paul, everybody was making plays and doing it out there at that stadium, coming on the Bay water area. It was a cool atmosphere. And that's one that kind of sticks out because, just all around game was pretty on point for everyone.
Now Big Ten school. We're going to be going back there as a conference team here in a few years.
That's right.
Your first tunnel walk. Do you remember it? A lot of players tell me that it was a really it's like an out-of-body type experience. What was yours like?
Yes, didn't feel my feet at all. Didn't feel my feet that whole game, I don't think. It was pretty unbelievable. And then actually scored my first touchdown, that game. And you just can't beat it. Running out there with the fans going crazy, all the red, of course the music in the background. There's nothing else like it, and you truly can't grasp it, understand it until you're actually in a uniform with your equipment on going out there. And I think that's what makes that place special. And, I'm just excited for the future players to keep experiencing that.
Well, you're going in the Hall of Fame. I know the banquet's on the 13th of September. You guys will be honored on the field the next day for the Northern Iowa game. I'm hoping you're going to make it back. People will be disappointed if they don't see Rex on the 14th. Are your plans to be here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will be there. Plan to bring my family back as well. It'll be my boys, their first Husker game. So I know they'll be fired up for it. They love some football, and they'll be ready to go. So looking forward to seeing, some other former teammates, of course, Craig being inducted as well, and meeting some of the other inductees and hearing their stories also.
Fantastic. Got any athletes in that family of yours? Can you tell yet?
We will see. They do have a passion for the game of football and love some football. So my wife is, hoping they don't play running back, maybe choose another position. But we'll see. We'll see. They love it, though.
Maybe a black shirt. They can hit guys instead of getting hit.
There you go.
Do that.
There you go.
Rex, thanks for the time. Again, congratulations. Well-deserved honor. It's going to be fantastic to see you in September. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, so good to hear from Rex. He joined us on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. When we come back, Jessica's going to sit down with some great folks from Sarpy County Tourism. We'll hear all about that next.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $3,000 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $3,000 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Discover a better car buying experience with Woodhouse Hyundai. Shop online to explore our extensive lineup of versatile SUVs, like the 2024 Hyundai Kona, featuring a sleek design, impressive fuel efficiency, and advanced technology, ready to enhance your driving experience. When you shop Woodhouse Hyundai, you can rest easy with Hyundai Shopper Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get started online at woodhousehyundai.com today and explore our current offers going on right now. This is Woodhouse Hyundai.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and so very excited to be joined by our good friend Fred Huey with Sarpy County Tourism. And there's still a couple weeks left of summer before we dive all into football, so still lots to do this summer in Sarpy County. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Hey, it's great to be back. And yeah, you know, summer is going by awful fast this year. It just seems like, I mean, school's starting in like 3 to 4 weeks for some of the students I know, and just it's unbelievable.
I know, it's crazy. Well, before we dive into everything, the last couple times we spoke, we talked about getting me out to Omaha Storm Chasers game. I'm actually going this weekend. You're making it happen, so I'm so excited. I can't wait. What's on tap for this weekend with the Omaha Storm Chasers?
You know, it's they've always got a lot of promotions going on. Actually, Friday night is sitcom night and featuring little Sebastian from Parks and Rec. But Saturday night's actually Faith and Family Night, so there'll be a post-game concert by a religious artist that I should remember his name, but I don't. And but you'll have a good time. It's the weather is supposed to be a lot better than it has been the last few weekends, and so we're looking forward to seeing you out there. I'll probably be hanging around that night, just making sure everything's okay with you guys.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. Well, we wrapped up another very successful couple weeks with the College World Series up there in Omaha. It continues to grow and grow. How great was this year for everybody up there?
You know, it's actually it's a statewide event almost because of the demand and lodging between the College World Series and the youth tournaments. I think Slump Busters had 300 youth teams from around the country. Actually, I know some parents were staying here in Lincoln, which made Jeff Mile and the Visit Lincoln folks happy. But, you know, it's been a great event, and it's kind of the peak of the summer. I mean, you know, it's everybody in the metro area. Finding a hotel room in June is nearly impossible.
So you have a cool story, though. You were the host of Tennessee, but you have a fun story that you were able to be a part of when they were up here.
Yeah, there's 7 civic clubs in Offutt, all are assigned to a team, so there's a variety of functions we do, but we were fortunate enough to have Tennessee this year. And Coach Vitello at our team event, which was the Saturday before Father's Day, began his remarks by talking about showing gratitude and that, you know, thank you sometimes isn't often enough, and that for the players and including some of the Little League and youth athletes that were in the room, you know, how doing your best to make mom and dad proud. But then he went on to talk about the tradition he's trying to build at Tennessee baseball and referenced Husker football.
Wow.
He says, I understand that, you know, the state kind of stops on football Saturdays. That's what I want to recreate for Tennessee baseball, that we are the event in the state of Tennessee, and that whole culture of excellence. So it was really unique to see him talk about, you know, Nebraska football during his remarks.
Oh, that's awesome. What a cool story. Well, let's keep talking baseball and back to the Storm Chasers. They had a successful first half of the season, which already means we're going to have playoff baseball.
We will be having playoffs. It's very unique this year. They've split the seasons into the first half and second half. So the first half winners, which in this case was the Storm Chasers, are guaranteed to host the playoffs in September. So we are the best 2 out of 3 between the first half and second half winners. That will be the International League Championship. And those dates are September 24th and 25th, guaranteed, and possibly September 26th if needed. So if you want to see a great quality of baseball, Werner Park is the place to be.
Absolutely. We're visiting with Fred Huey with Sarpy County Tourism. Okay, let's talk back to school shopping, because you mentioned it. It'll be here before you know it, and you guys got lots of places that you can get everything you need.
We do. It's probably can't really talk shopping without mentioning Nebraska Crossing, which I know is a Husker partner, but It's probably the most unique Midwest shopping destination. And previously, we had talked about the Lego store. I do have an opening date.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they've totally released this, but I told them I was coming on the air. And so September 20th will be the opening of the new Lego store, the only Lego store in the state of Nebraska. And I know there's a lot of Lego fans throughout the area, so we're pretty excited about that. But there are regular stores. It's got a busy time of year. You get into August, you've got Nebraska Crossing, Shadow Lake Town Center, Cabela's, which actually does a lot of back-to-school business as well. And then we have a variety of unique specialty and boutiques throughout the county that, basically if you need something, you can upgrade your wardrobe, come see us.
Okay, so September 20th for that Lego store opening.
Correct.
Okay. All right, well, there's another cool place that opened up this summer, Smash Park. Tell us about that.
That is a great addition. They are out of Des Moines. This is their third location, and we're fortunate enough to have them in Sarpy County. And there's indoor and outdoor pickleball. There's an awesome arcade. It's kind of a sports bar. Great food and beverages. But there's axe throwing, private karaoke booths, darts, duck pin bowling. I lose track of everything in there, but it's definitely a must-see place, and it's there in the Southport area, which is close to Cabela's and the Embassy Suites right off the interstate. So I encourage Husker Nation to stop in and pay them a visit.
Something to do for anybody, it sounds like.
It is. It is.
You big karaoke guy, Fred?
I am not. I would, the private karaoke concept does attract me because I publicly never.
I like the karaoke, so I'll have to check that out. Okay, and we cannot have you on and be talking about Sarpy County and the things to do there without talking music, because you guys got it covered. And the full music schedule has been released for the Outlandia Music Festival.
It has, and Outlandia is a music festival that was actually started by the gentleman that started the Maha Music Festival many years ago. Maha's in hiatus this year, but they decided to create this Outlandia, and this is the second or third year, I believe. Great lineup down at Falconwood Park. Falconwood's become a great partner for ongoing music. This weekend they have Girl Camp, which you can actually camp at. It's a 2-day music festival featuring a lot of female artists. And so you've got Girl Camp, you've got Outlandia, and then towards the latter part of August, they have Hippie Fest, which is a little bit what it sounds like. I have not been down there yet. Tie-dye is very popular, but again, another great musical lineup. And they do drive-in movies down there and events year-round. So,
and there's some fun artists coming up at the Astro too here in the next few months.
There are. It's the Astro, probably one of the area's newest music venues, and they have the luxury. It's an indoor facility and an outdoor facility. So there's an amphitheater, and so the great summer of concerts. I know Melissa Etheridge and Jewel coming up soon. Todd the Wet Sprocket, Modern Jukebox. The one I'm definitely excited about is Ringo Starr and his all-star band. Never in my wildest dreams I ever thought a Beatle would be in Sarpy County. But then moving in the indoor, too, for us old guys, Casey and the Sunshine Band are coming in November. But, again, there's probably 2 or 3 shows a week, either indoors or outdoors. And always encourage people to, check out our community calendar on our website at gosarpy.com.
I got to get my dad looking at tickets for him to Casey and the Sunshine Band, because he's a big fan of them.
Great.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Great stuff as always. Always fun hearing about all the great things going on up there in Sarpy County, and we'll see you out there. I'll be out there this Saturday.
I will track you down Saturday night and make sure you have a good time.
Yep, so I will be out there at the Omaha Storm Chasers game. And again, as Fred mentioned, go to gosarpy.com for any more information or tickets for anything and all the information that you need to know in regards to Sarpy County tourism. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, we got to step aside for a break here on Sports Nightly. We got more to come coming up right after this.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting Major Connor Clark with Campus News. UNL's Center for Transformative Teaching works with educators across all majors on new teaching strategies for a new generation of students. The Center for Transformative Teaching helps instructors grapple with AI in the classroom, use data modeling to enhance student learning, earn grants for exploring new teaching methods, and provides crucial insights that power academic success.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Go visit us online at woodhouse.com. Got a couple of texts I need to go back and clean up. Doug in Norfolk said, I watched the first night of the MLB draft. There was a kid from Millard West, drafted like mid-second. Did Nebraska not recruit him? Well, they did. He had signed with Arkansas. He wanted to play in the SEC, but doesn't matter now, Doug. He's going pro. So that's, the risk. These high guys in high school, they get drafted, and you can put a lot of effort into them, and they end up not coming to school. They take the money and go, and I can't blame them for that. Art in Los Angeles. Greg, send congrats to Rex, one of my favorite Huskers in history. Go Big Red. He really is. Rex was, and if you weren't around when he played, it's kind of hard to explain, but I would say he's one of the most popular Huskers of all time, just because of the way he carried himself, the way he played, the toughness that he played. He was a good football player. I mean, had a good run in the National Football League, got a Super Bowl ring with the New England Patriots, but just a terrific human being. And I think the way he wrapped his arms around Team Jack, and to this day is still a big part of Team Jack, is what endears Rex to all Cornhuskers. And I know he's not from the state, but you kind of feel like he's one of us. And I think he feels that way too. I think he's got really fond memories about the state of Nebraska and Cornhusker fans and how well he was treated here in Lincoln. So congrats to him. It's going to be great to have him back for the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It's the night of the 13th. They have a banquet, and then they'll be honored on the field for the Northern Iowa game before the game. What a class. We're going to hear from Jared Crick later in the week, Chris Kelsay. You've got just some other terrific football players that were part of that class as well. It's a who's who every year. And Rex had to wait a couple years just because there's a waiting period when your football days end before you get put into the class. And so he was, I think this first year he's eligible. So first year of eligibility he's in. Amir's going to get in too once his days wrap up as well. So Burkhead into the Hall of Fame, rightfully so, for Rex Burkhead. We talked about the Major League Baseball draft, the two Huskers that got picked. Josh Caron going in the 4th round of the Mariners, Brett Sears to the Braves in the 7th round. The Big Ten, 27 players drafted over the 3-day draft. That includes 23 players that played last year and 4 incoming signees. Brody Breck, the hard-throwing right-hander from Iowa, was the highest pick at 38 overall. And, of course, the Huskers had the 2 picks this year in the draft. And so now Will Bolt can sit back, and he knows that some of these guys that they were a little nervous about coming in either out of high school or junior college that they'd signed back in November, now he can race on and know that he's got those guys coming to campus and will be here as part of the Husker baseball team in a month when they come to show up for campus. So now Will can start kind of putting the team together and kind of figuring out what he wants to, how he wants to organize this team up a little bit. But it's college coaches, folks, they hold their breath for these 3 days. One, you knew Josh Caron was going, so you kind of plan on that. You knew Sears' eligibility was up. But Drew Christo is the one that I think, they thought probably would get drafted. He did not. So what does Drew do now? Does he come back? Does he look to just get a free agent deal with the team? My guess is Drew comes back. And, man, that can get you kind of excited. You got McConaughey coming back, who looks like maybe your Friday guy. You got Christo, you got Brockett, you got Walsh. You got the makings of a really good staff for Husker baseball moving forward. So that's exciting for that. Camden, I know you're monitoring the All-Star game. I don't have it on right here. Anything happening yet in that thing?
It's still scoreless in the top of the third, but it looks like the National League just got runners at first and second now. I think Ketel Marte just reached on an air, and Jerkson Profar hit a single off the wall in right field. Wow. So first and second, no outs, and Ohtani at the plate.
All right, let me ask you, do you like the uniforms, or would you prefer these guys to wear their team's uniforms?
I don't really like the uniforms. I think the hats are kind of cool, but as for the uniforms, I think it'd be cooler if every team wore like the City Connects, that would be really cool too. And Ohtani just hit a home run, by the way, so 3-run homer.
So 3-0 NL.
Yeah, they haven't won in forever, have they? Hasn't it been the AL that's won?
I was a huge fan of when the All-Star game was played and teams wore their own uniforms. So if you were a Cardinal, you wore your Cardinal uniform. If you were a Royal, you wore your Royals uniform. I don't know when they made the switch to go over to a neutral type uniform. I'm with you. The City Connect are really bright. I think that would be kind of fun. But I don't like these as much. You're right. The hats are okay, I guess. But I would love to see a Yankee in a Yankee uniform, a Dodger in a Dodger uniform, and go from there. Because then you get to see everybody. I don't know. I think whoever made that decision, that was a bad one. But so Shohei Ohtani, the brightest star in the game today, 3-run home run. The National League has taken a 3-0 lead in the top of the third. That was hit off of Houck, I believe, in that game. So Ohtani making his impact felt in the All-Star game as we're in the break, a couple days off for Major League Baseball. The Open Championship Golf's final major will take place starting Thursday at Royal Troon, one of the great classic courses in Scotland. We're going to do a little in-house draft with Jessica, Camden, myself, and Jeremiah tomorrow night. Also tomorrow night, Jeffrey Gold will be here. New Nebraska president, started July 1st. He'll be in studio for a segment tomorrow night. Looking forward to hearing from him on what his vision is for the university moving forward. So Dr. Gold will be a part of the program tomorrow night. Also, Connor Esijan, the transfer from Wisconsin, new member to Fred Hoiberg's basketball team. We're going to talk to Connor. What a shooter. He could really maybe fill the void left by either and/or Casey or C.J. Wilcher, who were good shooters for the Cornhuskers this year, but looking forward to hear from Connor. Great freshman year for Wisconsin. Numbers backed off a bit last year for him, but he can still shoot it. And so looking forward to hearing from Connor tomorrow night on the program. Thanks to Camden for steering the ship tonight. Thanks to all of you for listening. Enjoy the All-Star game. Back with another full 2-hour show with you tomorrow night. Good night.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $3,000 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $3,000 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.